Tatum needs to average. I think he's going to average 30 this year.
Yep.
I think Brown's going to go over 20.
Yep.
Probably like 22. And Kemba should have a good season as well. I like this team this year.
Yeah. Let's look at Boston.
All right. Boston Celtics, fell short a bit with running into Miami. That's not taking anything away from Miami.
Yep.
They beat Boston fairly handily. There were some good games there, but I thought Boston was a threat to win that series. Going forward, they lost Hayward.
Yep.
Again, I thought that was an addition by subtraction, because I think that opens up more, just by the nature of the absence of Hayward's ball handling and the presence he has. More shots for Tatum, more shots for Brown, more shots for Daniel Tice. I think they're going to be better. There's not going to be a distraction of that, because I think Hayward there was a thing where I'm getting this money, but my role is to be the fourth option. And there was rubbing guys a bit of the wrong way. So I think if you bring in...
Pause.
If you get rid of Hayward, but you bring in Thompson, so you're bringing in a different type of player, but you're not losing a body, and you're opening up the floor for everybody else.
Yeah.
Tatum needs to average. I think he's going to average 30 this year.
Yep.
I think Brown's going to go over 20.
Yep.
Probably like 22, and Kemba should have a good season as well. I like this team this year.
Yeah.
Maybe not to challenge the Bucks, but I think they're in the best position to be consistent. I have the most faith in them actually being like a good team.
Okay.
Like not some dramatic fall off.
Okay. So where do you see them sitting in the East?
Pardon me. I had them at number 4, just because it's going to be the regular season versus the playoffs. It comes down to matchups in the playoffs. Yeah. I like them as the number 4 seed.
Okay.
They'll win whatever matchup that is, I believe.
Okay.
Because Brad Stevens is a mastermind. He'll make something work in the playoffs against most coaches, unless it's Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Boston this year.
Okay.
Not as much as I actually had the Nets over the Celtics this season.
Wow. All right.
And that's assuming everyone's healthy, which it never is.
Yeah.
But you can't really predict injuries.
No, you can't. It's impossible.
What did you think of Boston?
Yeah, I like them too. I think the only issue with Boston's offseason was the losses of the depth guys there. Losing Wanamaker.
Yeah.
He added a lot. I really didn't expect Wanamaker to be that kind of guy, but yeah.
He was okay. He wasn't my favorite. Like, he was a good...
It's not my favorite. He was great to just bring on the court and have that backup point guard there. He knew that system so well.
That's true.
He seems to be the kind of guy that studies every team that he's about to play.
I see what you mean, yeah.
And so losing that kind of leadership off the bench, bringing in Jeff Teague. I like Teague.
I forgot they got Teague.
Yeah, they got Teague. I like Teague, but I don't know if he brings the same kind of energy and enthusiasm of the game that Wanamaker has.
Okay.
He also has he has a tendency to put the game into ISO ball, where he'll take the ball and try and beat a guy off the dribble. And that's not the way Boston plays.
Definitely
so it'll be interesting to see how they handle that situation. They added Peyton Pritchard, who was their number 26 pick.
Did you know that?
In the NBA draft? I hope so. Can you fact check that?
Drum roll, please. Did Josh nail that?
26 overall pick. I haven't got a drum roll soundbite. We're working on the sound bites.
Suggestions. 26.
26
nailed it.
pick.
Good work.
God, I'm good at this.
He's the draft fiend.
I should podcast more often.
Solo.
Yeah, solo. Sorry, Macca. The Naismith pick, I also really like. Is it Naismith or Naismith?
I think it's Neesmith.
Neesmith. Okay. There's no I in it.
Isn't there?
Yeah. No, it's just Neesmith.
Aaron Neesmith. Oh, okay. So it's definitely not.
So
Naismith
maybe it's
or Naismith.
Sorry if we've butchered your name, Mr. Neesmith.
Pardon us, Aaron.
Yeah.
I think it's Aaron Neesmith.
Aaron Neesmith. He shot 41% from 3, and he was their first pick in this draft. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys fit in and whether they're going to be straight into the roster, the rotation. I can see why they wanted to add a guy that is lights out from three.
Absolutely.
They were blown off the park by Duncan and Tyler in the playoffs.
Duncan especially.
So they needed help at that end of the ball.
To keep up.
Yeah, well,
most teams are loading up with shooters.
Jayson Tatum ended up taking the ball and being like, I need to match this. I have to match this. And it's really difficult to have that many guys on a roster that can shoot. So I like what they did in the draft as well. And they needed more shooters to just take pressure off Tatum. They needed to add more. So
yeah, I liked what they did because they didn't go crazy. They made some solid moves. They picked up Tristan Thompson. I think
like Tristan.
Yeah, I like him on that team.
Yeah.
He doesn't work in every scenario. Like, you don't want him to be on the cellar dwelling Cleveland Cavaliers.
He's a much better defensive option than Enes Kanter was last season.
Way better.
Yeah, Kanter came on against the Heat and actually put up some really good numbers when he was on the court. No, defensively he was pretty good too. Yeah,
I just assumed you were going that way.
No, his defensive plus minus was pretty good on the court, but I think that's about the only game where he showed that defensive ability. He's got that tendency to be very lazy on the defensive end. So I like the addition of Tristan Thompson, who's, a much better defender than Enes Kanter. And plugging out Tice, he's pretty much a like for like, except he can't shoot.
That's right. So that's a good point. I like Thompson too because of his defensive versatility on the perimeter. I remember in the 2016 and 2017, but the playoffs and the finals in particular, he was really good at switching onto the guards and not really giving up. He's not a perfect defensive player for a Steph Curry, but he made it tough. And that's all you can ask out of your bigs.
Yeah, for sure.
On these quick guards. I love me some Grant Williams. I just wanted to slide that in there.
Grant Williams.
He's a professional's professional. I think he fits in as a great role player. He's solid. Okay. He's about 6'6", 235. Plays like three positions. He can defend, I think, all five positions. He's pretty good at.
He reminds me a lot of Draymond Green.
Yes.
Like, he reminds me a lot of Draymond Green.
He's like a homeless man's Draymond Green.
He is.
I think.
Yeah.
If that homeless person maybe had a couple dollars in his pocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, good player. Great draft pick.
Yeah.
Last year it was.
I like Grant Williams. I think he does need a bigger role this year. They're going to need another guy off the bench. Losing Gordon Hayward off the bench, that kind of production can't be matched by any one person. So all of those guys are going to have to.
It's all going to build up together. That's what I was saying, where it's addition by subtraction. You're making all these other guys better by giving them the ball more. And also, I forgot to mention, Marcus Smart is going to get more opportunities. Say what you want about that. You don't want him to become a focal point of the offense, but he's a great player as well.
He was really good against Miami in the playoffs.
Against Toronto. What was it?
Against
Game
Toronto.
2?
Yeah. Against Toronto, he was crazy.
Man,
so
he lit us up.
His playoff performances last year showed that he has that potential there to be able to go off. And if the ball is in his hands more, we could see that, or it could go the other way. So
that's the thing.
That's the thing with Marcus Smart. He's not the most consistent shooter in the NBA, but
I'm going to say, honestly, semi-hot take. I think Marcus Smart will retire as a Celtic. He's that important to that team, honestly.
Wow.
He's a does all the little things guy, and if he sprinkles in 20 points, everyone's
I can
happy.
see him getting a big bag from someone in free agency because I don't think that the Celtics could match that, especially with Brown, Tatum.
Okay, that's
everyone else they have on that roster.
You kind of just deflated my take.
I'm sorry,
but you're right. No, I didn't consider that side.
I don't know who would pay him, but I'm sure there's an NBA franchise out there like the Knicks that are happy.
The Knicks would pay him.
Throw money around.
The Knicks would pay him for sure.
Yep.
Because James Dolan isn't a bright guy. Anyway.
Okay.
Next team I guess we wanted to talk about was the Pacers.
James will pay to have us cancelled.
Sorry, James.
There you go.
Forgive us.
Yeah. I love that we're talking to these people that have no idea who we are.
Yeah, James Dolan. I mean, if he listens, that's cool. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Share with your friends, James.
Tell everyone about us, James.
Tell all your rich friends that we're doing a podcast.